Ladies and gentlemen, this is Football Primetime. I'm your host, Bill Dean. Of course, here with my two co-hosts, Brett Fitzpatrick and AJ Dean, decided to come back from his honeymoon and grace us with his presence because, God forbid, we have to go on a honeymoon. We have to miss two podcasts. Abby should be ashamed that she didn't let you, podcast while on site. It would have been great to see.
I agree.
The Acropolis or wherever the heck you went. Live podcast like Sam went to Alaska and did a podcast from a glacier, and AJ couldn't obviously do anything to help us out with that. So we appreciate that. Thank you, AJ. I take it you watched a lot of football when you're out there too. You have a lot of stats to give us.
A whole lot of football at like 2 a.m. going on. Yeah. So there was a lot of watching that time. So
you got away with it.
Okay. I've 2 weeks of not watching anything, so it's I feel like I'm back in preseason mode again.
Yeah, you didn't really miss much. The Jets still suck, even though they
saw that game
somewhat decent on Sunday night.
I almost had it.
Zach Wilson still sucks, is what I should say. So obviously brought to you by Primetime Radio, courtesy of Mr. Wu behind the glass. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please leave us a 5-star review if you'd be so kind, or thumbs up, or say that AJ sucks, whatever you want. It doesn't matter to us. All right. So week 5 in the books. Week 4 in the books. Week 5 upcoming. Some very good football last week. We said about the Jets, this whole Taylor Swift thing. I'm done with it. But I actually want to lead off just because we have the Chicago Bears facing the Commanders tonight, and you see, I don't know if you guys saw the meme. It says the W and the C, and it's got Thursday Night Football, and it says the W is the what, and then it says the, and then it says FU, Chicago Bears C, and then another K, and it's a pretty good meme, by the way. But this is Thursday Night Football, the 0-4 Bears versus the 2-2 Commanders. But I want to lead off Chicago Bears Hall of Fame linebacker and one of the greatest names in all of sports, Dick Butkus, passes away at 80, and Monsters of the Midway, one of the feared linebackers. You think about all the linebackers, Dick Butkus is like one of the big ones, just scary and one of those all-time players. But this was the quote that I saw that I thought was fantastic. I want to just let them know that they've been hit. And when they get up, they don't have to look to see who it was that hit them. It shouldn't be any puzzle. When they come to, they got to say, it must have been Butkus that got me. And he just, every tackle, he wanted to make sure you knew it was him and you were going to have a hard time getting up. And that's just, it's a fantastic quote. Another thing said that Bart Starr, because him and Willie Holman hit Bart Starr of the former Green Bay Packers so hard that he lost his helmet, and he began to walk to the wrong bench because he was clearly concussed, but at the time they didn't really know about concussions.
They didn't know concussions back then. So.
Yeah, but this was the quote. Starr looked like Oscar Bonavina after Cassius Clay had finished with him. Obviously, if the Cassius Clay where Muhammad Ali beat the living daylights out of Oscar Bonavina, and just Dick Butkus, absolute legend, and all the prayers to the Chicago fan base and to his family, because one heck of a football player.
Yeah, definitely sad. I was just reading another one. They just jokingly tongue in cheek was I never go out deliberately hurt anybody unless it was, important, like a league game or something. So
I like that too. That's good.
Definitely sad.
So get back to it. Week 5 coming up, and we talked about Commanders. You guys got anything on the Commanders Chicago game real quick?
I feel like this is like back to last year's terrible Thursday night games. Right, we're in for a show, in for a real treat this week. So,
I'm at the point where the matchup is almost so bad that it's almost good, right? Like, I'm not expecting a great game, but I'm expecting it to at least be close. Commanders just put up what? They put up 30 on the Eagles.
30.
And now they get the Bears defense. So, I'm
it'll
not worried
be
about the Commanders scoring points.
There'll be scoring in this game. I really do. I think both teams are going to score, and it's just going to be ugly, is what it's going to be.
But that's kind of what you want from a bad matchup, right? Like, we don't have anything invested in Bears or Commanders, so I'm a fantasy football fan tonight. And in terms of fantasy football, this could be a great one.
Yeah, Billy and I started Sam Howell tonight.
Yeah, over Purdy
Sam Howell too. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, especially over Brock Purdy, just because that matchup versus the daunted Dallas Cowboys that's going to be a tough one. But all right. So slate from last week, week 4. We talked about the Jets. I don't really care about to get much more into that one. They lose, and some bogus calls, but they go with both ways. So I don't really, everyone's complaining about holds when there's clear hands to the face. So.
The whole Taylor Swift thing too, with just the NFL,
the starting where they have what's his name from The Voice come in and talk to fans about what football is. What is his name? The guy who used to be on MTV, Carson Daly, right? He comes on, he starts talking about what football is. I'm like, are you serious? We have to cater to these people. I don't care that they're watching the game. I want to watch football. I want to just hear these guys talk about football and not, Taylor Swift's in this crowd again. Look at her cheering, all this other garbage. It was cool to see Wolverine and Deadpool in there, but that was about it.
For all you Swifties,
Kelsey brothers. Or go, AJ.
Oh my God!
I say for all you Swifties, please go after Billy and not Brett and I.
Yes, I don't care. Swifties don't scare me.
Well, I mean,
there were some psychos.
Kelsey's had a good point. They had a good point on their podcast where Jason asked Travis if it was all too much, and the thing that I brought up was they had a perfect analogy. Like, in terms of sports, there's one sport that's figured out how to deal with celebrities. That's basketball, because got courtside seats. You don't need to zoom in on them. They just show up in frame every once in a while, and that's good. Football is not exactly equipped to deal with celebrities, mainly due to all the stoppage. So anytime the camera stops and there was a celebrity at that Kansas City game, it was going right there every time.
Yeah.
It's a little obnoxious. I will agree.
I just think the whole them having it all on their social media is just a little ridiculous, being like the Chiefs are 2-0 as 2-0
with Swifties. Yeah.
Pump that.
Yeah, we can stop with that one. Did you guys like the Toy Story game?
I started it, turned it off. It was a little glitchy.
In the beginning,
it
was
a fun
bad.
idea. Yeah. I like where they're going with it. The only problem is it's you can tell it's being run off of AI, and it's not a producer in a booth switching cameras like we're used to at our NFL games. So there was multiple plays where I was watching it and you're just on a sideline camera view and they're like, oh, and they're running the football. And I'd be like, it'd be great if I could see them run the football.
Yes.
If you look at the replays, I mean, some of the replays look good. I think it's kind of cool. If my team is playing, I'm not watching that broadcast at all.
Yeah.
But if it's a game I don't care about, I might turn that on.
Yeah, so we didn't get that overseas, so I did not watch it.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't get Disney Plus on your phone?
No, because Disney Plus goes to whatever region you're in. So being in like Italy, it wouldn't let me download anything. Except
really?
for like Italy's Got Talent. And I was like, I'm not watching that.
Yeah, that would be bad. I don't know if I would be interested in Italy's Got Talent. Obviously, someone with kids, I try to get my daughter to watch it. She's 2.5, so her attention span's that of a flea sometimes. So she quickly lost track of that one. But with, someone that has friends with younger kids, 7, 6, those ages, they liked it. They liked seeing, these toys on there playing football. They can obviously take this and run with it and make this better, because I do think there is something there. You could do different things with it, Toy Story or other people's fun rooms, but I'm a fan and I want to see more, and they can make them a little better, a little less glitchy, and a little more make it a little more interesting for parents, because the cartoon element's gonna going to bring the kids in by itself, but you need to have the dads be able to sit down and watch football and understand what's going on. And I thought it was a little odd and off that way, but hockey's done it now, football's done it. I don't really care about basketball or baseball, how they would do it, but I could see that this could be something in those two sports that it continues and brings in a younger audience. So that's good. All right. So obviously the Jaguars win 23-7. Falcons, I mean, just about the game itself. Trevor Lawrence, only the one touchdown, but Desmond Ridder might be the worst quarterback in football. And I could see the Heineken train coming real soon.
I'm waiting for it.
Yep.
I think I said it last week. He is who I have picked as the first starting quarterback to be benched. And he did not help his case last week.
AJ, anything?
I got nothing. I didn't watch the game.
No problem.
Fantastic insight.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it would just
I tried.
real brilliant. So, we keep going, and the game of the week, which everyone was looking forward to, and it hit the over because they score 68 points total. But Dolphins-Bills 48-20. Dolphins run train all over the Bills. Bills run train all over the Dolphins. Devon Achane, 8 carries for 100 yards and another 2 touchdowns. He's got 6 touchdowns in 2 weeks. Stephon Diggs with the 3 TDs. Josh Allen 4, 1 rushing. The Bills looked really good, and their defense showed why people saw this team as a Super Bowl contender. Is it, if you're a Dolphins fan, because obviously Bills fans are running high, they just beat the team that scored 70 points last week 2 weeks ago. If you're a Dolphins fan, are you worried, or is this just chalk one up to a good Bills team? We got another game in a few weeks against them. This time in Miami, and go from there. Or are we worried?
Yeah, I think you just chalk it up as they took this game. We'll get the next one. I mean, I think the big thing for the Dolphins, at least from what I've seen, is Jalen Waddle isn't where he was last year. Right at this time, where I think he needs to get a little bit more into the offense. They need to find a way to get him a little bit more into the offense.
Yeah.
Big surprise though is Achane, right? Having the week that he did the previous week with 2 touchdowns, right, or he had 4 touchdowns, I think, but 2 rushing, and then for him to follow it up again, even with only 8 carries, like you said, is pretty ridiculous. He's looks impressive. Keep feeding him the ball. I think that just opens up more avenues and lanes for Tua to throw the ball to Waddle and to Hill. So I think these two teams are going to be the juggernauts of the East, and duking it out for that number 1 seed.
Yeah, both 3-1.
I think there is some reason for slight concern, not a whole lot, and it's only because when you look at the games that the Dolphins have played so far, when they don't play good defenses, they look very good.
Run.
So they put up 36 against the Chargers and 70 against the Broncos. But then obviously the 2 best defenses they played on their schedule, Patriots and Bills, we're looking at 24 points and 20 points. Obviously that's not terrible. You can still win a game when you score 20 points, but their defense is obviously not as good as their offense, which the Bills just
they had no pass rush.
Yeah. So it's going to be an issue now. We're not worried about Dolphins against the middle of the pack or lower tier teams, but this is kind of showing that there might be some concern when they're playing better defenses like the Bills and the Patriots. So when you're looking at the Dolphins, for me, they get lucky. They get a cakewalk the next 2 weeks. They get the Giants and the Panthers. Should be no problem.
Yes.
I'm looking at that Eagles game, not because, one, I want to see if the Eagles can keep up with them offensively. But 2, because the Eagles' weakness is their secondary. So I'm interested to see if Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle just eat them alive. But either way, we won't really find much else out about the Dolphins until week 7. So as of right now, I'm slightly concerned that they can't handle better defenses. But, they're still going to be fine. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be one of the top seeds. They have some time to figure it out. But in terms of Achane, I think he's been doing great. I feel bad for him because his touches are about to get slashed because that's what McDaniels does. Jeff Wilson should be coming back either next week or this week. So they're going to have Mostert, a healthy Wilson, and Achane. I think he's great. Just how much will he be able to stay on the field?
Yep. You talked about it. I mean, they have the Giants coming up this week, and that's going to be a murder fest. Bills did lose Tre'Davious White, which looks like for the season, so that was a big hit to the secondary. But the Dolphins, I said it, the defensive ends and their pass rush was not there. I know Jalen Phillips was out, but Bradley Chubb's there. They pay a first-round pick for him. He was almost invisible. Van Ginkel gets him 2 sacks, but they need that pass rush to get going, especially for when they get back. Some of their talent in the back end, and corners. Xavier Howard. They also have who's on their injured list. It's a cornerback. He's out in the beginning of the year. He's going to be back. Jalen Ramsey.
Ramsey. Yeah.
So eventually he'll come back, and that'll be a good test for what their defense can do. Lastly, I mean, a couple other games just before we go to week 5. Ravens Browns. Ravens destroy the Browns defense between running and passing. Lamar comes out 2 touchdowns. This is the first game where Lamar had 2 touchdowns passing and 2 touchdowns rushing. And he's never done that before, which is crazy to think. But I guess he's either had really good rushing games or really good passing games. But that Ravens defense played really well against the Browns offense with, no quarterback. So that was, a little bit of an aberration. But them beating up on the Browns defense was a bigger deal. And it kind of gives the Ravens a good springboard cushion into weeks ahead. You guys got anything on that, or you want to go right to Bengals Titans? Because that one was bewildering.
I mean, the Browns one was a little interesting. I mean, obviously not having Watson. It was just I feel like the Watson injury thing was weird. I mean, it's not too often that you hear a guy say that he thinks he's good enough to play. And then the coaching, well, I guess that's probably the more common instance, but it sounded like all the way up until game time that everything was totally fine. And I don't know what they saw that was not good, but they definitely need him on the field. I'm not saying Watson's been great, but he definitely looks better than their backup.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Bengals, Titans. We all kind of expected that this would be the get-right game for them. We know that the Titans have a great rush defense, but their pass defense, let's put it this, it blows. And Bengals have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, and Mixon can catch the ball out of the backfield. They were terrible. Titans winning 27-3. I'm worried as a Bengals, a guy that thinks the Bengals could have been a Super Bowl team this year. I'm extremely worried. I think that whatever ails Joe Burrow, maybe it's time to get the backup in for a little bit and really get him, healed up before you get back out there. T. Higgins breaks a rib. He says he's going to go out again, but could that be a bad thing if he does? Try to walk Bengals fans off ledges, because it's not good.
Well, the thing to walk them off the ledge is they get the Cardinals this week. So, I mean, the Cardinals have been a surprise. They've been better than advertised. Joshua Dobbs, I don't know what the Cardinals saw in him, but kudos to them for seeing what no one else in the league could see. But, I mean, that's the benefit, is they get the Cardinals this week. So that's the good side. But the downside is, I'm with you. Something's definitely not right with Burrow. I don't want to hang on them too much against the Titans. Obviously, the Titans are a very up and down team. But the Titans play a specific style of football that when it goes well, they're damn near unbeatable. And when it goes bad, it's very bad. But their style of football is just control the clock. And that's what they did right out the jump. Derrick Henry looked like Derrick Henry from 2 or 3 years ago. And they were able to do what they do when they get the lead, which is run the football. If you look at the 2 losses that the Titans had, it's because they got down early. So the bright side for the Bengals is, yes, the loss looks bad, but they fell prey to the Titans' style of football, which is just run the football, eat up the clock. And it worked perfectly for them here. And as I said, Bengals fans, you get the Cardinals this week. So hopefully, if you can't beat the Cardinals, then full panic button, ditch everyone.
You think sell right away? 1-4?
Oh, not sell, but I would say if Burrow has a bad game this week, you really got to look at that calf and really reevaluate how serious it is holding him back. And if you're a 1-4 football team, I'm not keeping Burrow out there unless he's 100% healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, there's 2 more games I want to touch base on before we go to this week's slate. just quickly, 49ers smacked the Cardinals. Cowboys destroyed the Patriots. Patriots stink. Chargers beating the Raiders. You had Texans beating the Steelers. Where that's one I want to get to. Vikings beating the Panthers. Eagles beat the Commanders. Bucks over the Saints. Rams in overtime over the Colts. And then the Giants just Giants might be outside of the Bears. They might be the worst team in the league. Between their tackles, one being hurt, one, chastising the fans, telling them they flip burgers, which is, that guy is going to be flipping burgers with them very soon. But Evan Giants Neal, just terrible. No, yeah, Evan Neal, just so dumb. Devon Witherspoon is awesome. He might be rookie of the year defensively, but always exciting player to watch. But Brett, your Pittsburgh Steelers. In the beginning of the year, everyone would have said Texans stink, but C.J. Stroud is quietly leading, the league in passing yards as a rookie. For rookies, he leads the league in passing yards. He's on record to break the rookie passing record. He's been very good. No interceptions, no turnovers. The Steelers, though, we talked about it last week, that offense. You have to be worried about Kenny Pickett.
I'm obviously worried about Pickett only because we've done the Trubisky experiment at the start of last year, and it's not better. It's worse.
No, it's bad.
The bright side of Pickett is he moves, and Trubisky just stands there with cement feet and gets sacked. I'm obviously there's slight concern, but the thing that always makes you not concerned is the person who's running the team, and that's Mike Tomlin. And if you look at it, he has a way of making sure that the Steelers bounce back. I mean, they got destroyed week 1 against the 49ers, had a strong week 2 and a decent week 3, and they'll get destroyed in week 4, and then they're most likely bounce back in week 5. And
I think you have the worst offensive coordinator in football. Matt Canada's terrible.
Yeah, Canada is hard. It's hard to watch.
Blame
AJ,
Canada.
If you remember our early days at Purdue, it's like watching Hope again, where it's like, I wonder if this is going to be a screen pass or a slant, because that's the only 2 passing plays that we call.
Only things we know.
And that's what it feels like a little bit now. I'm hoping that maybe this is just a factor of a limited playbook without Deontay Johnson out there. I'm hoping that's just what I'm hoping right now. I'm just trying to be optimistic. I know it's not, because I watched this offense last year. But yeah, it's very weird. I don't know what else to do. You don't particularly enjoy firing an offensive coordinator 4 weeks into the season, because
might have to.
I mean, you might have to, but how many weeks does it take you to acclimate to a new offense? So, I mean, it's not just firing him. That's like a month-long project to just bring in a new guy to get everyone up to speed. So it is concerning, but in general, I mean, the Texans are just a surprise, right? They're 2-2. They get the Falcons this week. I got them going 3-2. I did not think the Texans were going to be 3-2 after 5 weeks. So in general, I think Stroud's hit. And for all the multiple years where people were bashing the Texans for their outrageous tank job that they put together, kind of looks like it worked.
Yeah. And just quickly on that defense, because that was bad. No pass rush from the likes of TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith. I feel like that let you guys down this past week, as well as Minka Fitzpatrick was bad. He missed on a couple of key tackles, and Patrick Peterson did not have a good day.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's bad when your 2 running backs have the most receiving yards, I feel like, for your team, and it's basically under 30 yards. So
yeah, 34 was the one catch for Najee Harris, 1 for 34.
Yeah, that's rough. I'm sorry. But
all right,
hey, you're still only 2.
Yeah.
Still 2-2. 2 bad losses. They're really bad losses. I think we
2
scored
okay wins.
Combined 16 points in our 2 losses, so that's not great. But still got 2 wins. And with the Bengals looking the way they look, we're okay. They're keeping us afloat.
Sky's the limit.
Yep. Yeah. All right, 4 teams on bye this week: Cleveland, LA Chargers, Seattle, and Tampa Bay. Sunday slate, we're going to have the 9:30 game, which is Jacksonville at Buffalo. I'm excited for this game, and I have money that I took the points, of course, but I think that Jacksonville could win outright this game. I think that they've stayed in London. They're going to be fresh and acclimated, and we know how we all feel, right, when we get off a plane and there's a major jet lag. It's the same thing for the players too. And I think that Buffalo might overlook this team, and I have Jacksonville outright winning in London, Tottenham.
Well, I mean, it is a home game for the Jaguars, right? Because they're always
well,
at London. So
yeah, it's technically the home game for Buffalo, but yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I think Lawrence has been okay this season, but I can see him balling out. It is tough though to root against what Josh Allen and that team just did against the Dolphins. It's gonna be a good game, like you said. It's kind of refreshing having an early morning game like this, a 9:30 game, at least Eastern time, and getting to watch some football a little bit earlier.
I got the Bills in this one. They look too good right now. Too much of a complete team. The Jags look like the Steelers right now. They're one team one week, and then the next their offense can't do anything. So I mean, it all depends on what Jags team shows up. But I don't even know if a well-performing Jags team can beat the Bills right now. So I'm taking Bills in this one.
Their defense has been a little sneaky good, so that's the only reason I'm giving them a little bit of hope.
Yes, sneaky good when you play Desmond Ridder.
Well, yeah, I mean, not just last week, but yeah, I agree. All right, you got Houston at Atlanta, Carolina at Detroit, Tennessee at Indy. I mean, those games don't really do anything for me. New York at Miami, it's going to be a bloodbath. Poor Giants fans, and we know a bunch of them. I don't see how this is going to be pretty at all.
They might get Barkley back, so it might be a little bit better, but 10 sacks last week.
Did you guys watch
the greatest pass rush, but
did you guys watch the Orlovsky breakdown of some of the sacks and stuff like that happened?
No, what did he say? I missed that.
Yeah, he's basically saying like only 3 or 4 of them were actually like the offensive line's fault, and that most of the other ones were actually on Daniel Jones. Yeah, because he didn't either check out of fast? He either didn't check out after seeing a look or something like that, or on the strip sack one, he should have saw the guy lining up on the D end and should have checked out of it. Instead, he went with the play, and when he was rolling out, he should have whipped his head a little bit faster and saw the guy, and that'll cause it all and all that stuff. So
Marshall on Facebook saying, I'm going to the game. I bought tickets in April. Sorry, bud. That's going to be a rough one. Yeah. So we'll see what.
I did see the sack of when Evan Neal blocked his own player instead of blocking the person he's supposed to.
So bad. New Orleans at New England, so that's going to be a defensive slugfest. I would have New Orleans coming out of that game. And then the other 1:00 game is Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Brett just talked about it. I think Baltimore's offense is rolling. Their defense played really well. I'm going to take Baltimore in this one. It's a division game, so it's always going to be close. But just Lamar is starting to look like the MVP caliber quarterback that we believed at the beginning of the season. He's feeding Mark Andrews, which is one of the best things you can do as a quarterback when you have a tight end that's that good. Zay Flowers is looking very good for them. And then, like I said, the defense, they have pieces all over the place that the defense knows when to play the big games. And I wish they would play more often that same way, but they always come up with big games in division matchups as well as against the best teams. So I got Baltimore.
I mean, I was about to take every point that you just made, and I could say the same thing about TJ Watt and our defensive front. So I'm going to have to homer it, but I'm going to take Pittsburgh at home. I mean, it's tough. There's one thing AFC North teams know how to do. It's play against each other. So, I mean, I'm at least expecting a good game. I'm not expecting 6-30 like against the Texans.
Yeah, I could see it's going, either way. I mean, it's a turnover or a stop, kind of thing that's going to sway this game. So, I'll go Baltimore. Sorry, Brett.
Boo.
Philly at the Rams, the 4:05 game. Cincinnati at Arizona. We talked about Cincinnati, but Philly at the Rams. Puka Nacua looks awesome.
Yeah.
They're bringing back. Most likely, they're going to bring back Cooper Kupp. Philly can get their pass defense is not very good. I'm gonna take an upset here. I'm gonna go LA Rams with the win. I think that this is a good offense, and they're getting back piece. Kyron Williams is good. Matthew Stafford looks like he could be an MVP candidate. He's played really well, other than one half in the third week of the season. I got the Rams on this one.
Yeah, I think this could be a duel, honestly, for the offenses. Yeah, they better keep feeding Puka, because if they just do Cooper Kupp, once he comes back, this guy has proven how he can be so effective and just a great wide receiver already in his rookie year. And like I said, Kerwin Williams has been fantastic as well. Cam Akers didn't need him, right?
No.
And this is going to be a great game. I can see the Rams taking this one as well.
I know when they won quickly, Brett, I'll go to you, but I know that when they won the Super Bowl, they had Odell Beckham, but it was really the Cooper Kupp show, right?
Yeah.
If you think about offenses before that, they supported two wide receiver ones when they had Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp going. Yep. I think they could do this, and that just makes it even more diverse. And Tutu Atwell's had a really good season too. They have Higbee, who last year was a very good player for them. Mm-hmm. Their offense is legit.
Oh, no, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the Rams are going to be great, and I know, AJ, you want them to keep giving the ball to Puka, but I like what Billy brought up, and that's where I was going to go with this, and it's more of just the fact that you have to understand how good Cooper Kupp is. He was able to have that Triple Crown year with no help, meaning that it's not that I don't think they should stop force-feeding Puka. It's more of that they won't need to force-feed Puka anymore. Cooper Kupp demands double coverage, and Puka's been getting all these catches with double coverage. So it's not that I think they're going to stop force-feeding him. It's just the plays are just going to be more natural for Puka. You don't have to design the play for Puka, and you can design it for Cooper Kupp. And if double coverage happens, he's proven that he's a good enough wide receiver to win a one-on-one battle. So if anything, I'm with you guys. I like the Rams in this. I mean, having that offense open up even more with Cooper Kupp's return, I'm excited to see what it looks like. I think this one could probably be the highest over under the week in my mind.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely got points on that one. The other 425, well, two more 425s. You have KC at Minnesota, and I think we all agree that's also going to be an offensive, outscoring. KC has a decent defense. They play, hard, especially with Chris Jones in the middle. But Minnesota, Justin Jefferson, Addison had a quiet game last week, but I think that's going to be a fun scoring game. Then we got the Jets at Denver. Revenge games all over the place. Will Hackett get his revenge on his old team where he stunk? And then, whatever happens with Sean Payton, who's an idiot, and what he's going to do to the Jets. I think this game will also be an over. I think these two teams are going to score at will on each other. I think the Jets have an ability to stop, Denver a little bit, and I have the Jets in this game. I think it's actually going to be fun.
I think it's I think this is. Go AJ, you got it.
I was saying, no, I think this is a game where Zach Wilson has to step up again, right? He's got to prove. He already had he had the great game, right, against Kansas City. You all saw the stats, right, of he's the only player.
The first time. Yeah,
I know
that's ever had a better game than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, which is impressive. But if he wants to prove that he can be a starting quarterback in the NFL, right, he's going to keep these games going. I mean, I feel like the Jets have all the tools, right? This game, all the just all the fuel to really hammer the Broncos. And I like the Jets this game.
I mean, it is so tough to pick either of these teams to actually win a football game.
Suck.
I mean, it's tough. I like the Jets in it just because of the defense side of things. mean, the Broncos just gave up almost 30 to the Bears. I don't have any faith in that right now.
No.
I mean, if we're looking at the Thursday night game, this in my eyes is almost the equivalent here. It's which team just wants to lose less, and that's probably who's going to win this one. I mean, I'm going to give it to the Jets in this one. I'm excited to see Breece Hall on not a pitch count and let him run wild. Yeah. And I'm going with the Jets.
Just quickly on that one, and AJ talked about, Patrick Mahomes having a bad game. That tells me more about the Jets defense, which they're still playing hard, and they do think that they can do something this season. And I kind of agree with them. Better quarterback play, whether it is from Zach Wilson, which I don't think it is, or it's just another guy. I think they still can make some noise in this division and in this, and in the playoffs if they were to get there. Last game, because Green Bay at Vegas is not a good Monday night matchup. But Dallas at San Francisco, two teams off to hot starts, and I know Dallas lost to Arizona, but they smacked a bunch of teams that including Jets and Patriots that you kind of expected, and their defense is ridiculous. At San Francisco, McCaffrey is MVP candidate all world. Purdy's been really good getting the ball to his to his receivers, whether it be Debo or Kittle or Ayuk or any of these guys. I don't know that Dallas can score on the San Francisco 49ers. So I'm going to take San Fran, and I'm going to lay points on this one. I think their defense is good enough, but not against the weapons that San Francisco has.
I mean, I'm going 49ers all the way, and it's not exactly – I mean, I know the Cowboys' defense has been good, but you got to look at the teams they're playing. They were going against quarterbacks that are very prone to turning the ball over. I know Purdy is not the hot shot quarterback, but he doesn't do one thing, and that thing is he does not turn the ball over. So the Cowboys are not going to be able to rely on their defense to win this football game against the 49ers, and Dak is going to have to step up and score some actual points. So I'm liking the 49ers because I just think they're a more well-rounded team, and I don't see them turning the ball over and that Cowboys defense getting a score on defense like they've done in all three of their wins. I don't see that happening against the 49ers.
Yeah, I just think that, like you guys all said, right, the 49ers, the offense, the defense, they're kind of running on all cylinders. McCaffrey has been a juggernaut of a player to play against, and I still think the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, they're going to do what they always do and just fumble, especially in the bigger moments. So I'm with you guys. I like the 49ers going 5-0.
5-0, not bad. All right, that's going to be it for week 5. I don't think I saw any other decent news. I know that there's, a couple of, Dable comes out and kind of gave Neal the backing, just said it was a poor decision, but he deserves to be suspended or something. And if NFL defending the Swift pop culture movement, I just don't care. And then, Jonathan Taylor said he's here and he's back, so we'll see if he plays and what happens with them in Indianapolis.
That interview was painful to watch if you watched it.
It was painful. Yeah, it was painful. It was a bad interview.
It's the most roundabout way to say I really don't want to be here, but I need to get paid so I can leave.
Yes. DJ Moore, 3 for 87 and a touchdown already. Good job, DJ Moore. All right, AJ, trivia. We'll get out of here.
Yeah, so we already touched upon him. No, we already touched upon him a little bit. CJ Stroud obviously having a great rookie year so far. He's actually had quietly a historic start to his NFL career. In his first 4 games, Stroud has totaled 1,212 yards through the air. Can you tell me who has the most passing yards in their first 4 games of their career?
Is it not Stroud?
No, I actually know who it is. I saw this stat.
Damn it.
It's crazy, the person who actually did it, when you think about it, of what they turned to do in their career.
Brett.
How long was their career? Do I get a hint?
Very good. He was a Heisman winner, played for 2 teams. 2 teams?
2 teams.
He played for 2 teams. Yeah. Went to the Super Bowl.
Went to a Super
lost.
Bowl. Yep.
Super Bowl lost 2 teams.
He is not known for his passing.
Can we go sneaky and go Vince Young?
You're in the ballpark.
In the ballpark.
Think a little bit more recent.
Vic?
That kind of quarterback. Nope. More recent.
You got me. I'm stumped.
Cam Newton.
Yep.
Newton.
So Cam Newton.
Newton had 1,000 yards to start his career.
He had over like 1,400.
1,386 yards.
Yeah.
Are we sure that's not his passing stat for the whole season?
For the whole year? Yeah, exactly. No. I saw it was 4 weeks. I was like, wow, that's got to be not right. But
it's also a cool little stat too about Stroud is Billy mentioned it too. He hasn't thrown an interception yet. He's the only player in NFL history to have at least 1,200 passing yards and 0 interceptions in his first 4 games too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Sam's guesses were Kurt Warner, Peyton Manning, and Steve McNair. So
McNair's a decent one.
Yeah, McNair's a good one. All right, Sam, you can take it. For AJ, Brett, Sam behind the glass, we are excited for week 5. We will see you before week 6. This is Football Primetime.